Hey guys, thanks for tuning into the channel. If you have watched us before, thanks for coming back to the channel. We appreciate it. Tonight we're going to do something a little bit different. It's my video. I'm turning out a quick, easy, inexpensive, full meal. I'm talking we're going to get this done from fridge to eating in 20 minutes. So the plan here is get something on the dinner table quick. If it's a Tuesday night, Wednesday night, whatever, the kids get something going on. Use the griddle, make it fast, make it taste. Stay tuned, check it out. All right, so tonight's dinner is, here's the ingredient rundown. We're basically doing a simple pork chop, stuffing, and applesauce. Kind of like, remember the Brady Bunch episode? Pork chops and applesauce. Listen,
you're really dating us.
I was going to say, if you guys remember that, then, you know, you're dating yourself like we are. But nice gun, Matt. So the pork chops that I like to buy, I don't get the center cut because the center cut, they're very, very lean. They tend to dry out fast. So I buy, this is labeled boneless pork cutlet. I've seen them at other markets called pork sirloin cutlets. Yeah. Sometimes they're bone-in, sometimes they're not. But you'll notice how there's more red. You know, it's not the white pork that you see in a center cut pork chop. I find that when you get the darker and deeper the red, the more fat content and the easier it is to keep juicy and not dry out.
In my house, when I'm shopping for this, that's the last thing I look for usually in pork chops, but it does make a difference. So it kind of goes against your typical, you know, looking for the cleanest, clearest pork chop, but this actually has a lot more tenderness, flavor.
And in your house, you trim off all the fat on chicken thighs, and I make sure I grab the chicken thighs with the most fat. So.
And we have very dry pork chops, but they're good.
Yeah,
but
well,
they're very dry.
So Jeff and Chris is behind the camera. They haven't had this, right? So this is going to be new for them.
Yeah.
You guys are going to see it's going to go real fast. The seasoning on the pork, this is Jane's Crazy Salt. Pretty much any salty blend will do for you. I don't know if this is available nationally or not, but
I think so.
You need a salt blend that has kind of a high salt content. Yeah. And then I'm going to throw some garlic salt on it, some pepper. To contrast the saltiness of the pork, we're going to use applesauce. So let's get it on. Step one, believe it or not, is to light the griddle. So Chris, if you can light the griddle, sure. Put it on medium.
Can you trust him to do that?
I'm giving him the easy job.
Is it next to your house?
So put the griddle on medium because we want it hot when we put the pork down.
You want that right up against your house?
We're going to season the meat heavily, right? So I got the Jane's Crazy Salt. You can use whatever salt blend you want. You'll notice I don't have this on a cutting board. I opened it up and I just kind of flattened it out to expose most of the meat as I can. And my seasoning is going to hit my counter, but it's easier for me to wipe down my counter than it is for me to wash a cutting board.
The grill is lit.
So we go heavy with everything. I'm using garlic salt, Jane's Crazy Salt, and pepper. We actually want the pork. That seems awfully quick, Chris. Did you sure you did that right?
Yeah, we're all good. Medium high, right? It's at medium high.
So I want the pork to come out a little salty, and we know that when we cook on a griddle, a lot of the seasoning stays on the griddle. But when you eat this, and you guys, this is probably the first time you eat it, right? You cut a piece of the pork and dip it in the applesauce, so you get the sweet and salty.
Sounds yummy.
Okay. All right, guys, so we're out here at the griddle. I get Chris on griddle duty since he seemed to enjoy himself so much lighting the griddle. So we get the well-seasoned meat, right?
Respect.
So we start with the griddle on medium high. You want a hot griddle. These things are going to cook fast. So put down a good bed of oil, right? Mine pitches back, so put it up front. It'll run back. All right, start laying these down. I'll hold them for you. Remember the order you lay them down because that's the order you're going to have to flip them in.
Griddle's nice and hot.
And Chris, don't screw it up again.
Again.
I got it. All right, now do me a favor. Drizzle a little oil so that it runs under each. Jeff, we're gonna run inside, and now's the time to get the stuffing going. Oh, get the stuffing in the
How'd I do, boss? How'd I do?
I mean,
all right?
You suck.
I suck. Again.
You're still on a trial basis. You might be fired.
Hurry up. This is gonna be done quick.
All right, so first thing we do here is throw the broiler on high. And then here's kind of the trick. If you guys aren't doing this with your stuffing, start doing it. This has been sitting since we were seasoning the pork. It stays nice and hot. You don't have to worry about it. and it's gonna get hot back in the broiler. I apologize for the dirty dishes in my sink. I had to make mac and cheese for my kids. But I do this over the sink so that I don't overspray and get cooking spray all over my counter, right? Just a light coating of cooking spray. And that goes right under the broiler. A word of warning, don't walk away. This stuff burns super quick. So stay right by the oven, check it every minute. You want to get it golden brown, not black. All right, let's go check on Chris.
Chris, smile for Christ's sake.
Ready to take the pork. All right, we're filming, right?
Yeah.
All right, so guys, you can look down here, Jeff, if you pan down. You see a lot of the white starting to come up, starting to wrap around on the edge. You see a lot of moisture pooling on the pork chops. See all the puddles there? It's time to flip. So, Chris.
In order.
In order.
Let's show you this. Is that the crust you're looking for?
Yeah, so you get some nice browning on there. It's not burned yet. It's not dried out. Just give them a hard pull and they'll come up quick. Yeah, see, look how beautiful that is.
That's good, yep. Yeah, this one's a little fatter. Let's cook that one a little longer.
Like you?
Funny guy, funny guy.
All right, so after you flip them,
There's some oil.
you gotta drizzle. My griddle is pitched back towards my grease trap, so if you drizzle up front, that oil is gonna work its way back and help brown everything. Right? You can hear it starting to sizzle. Now I'm gonna sprint back inside because I know I told you in the last segment. Jeff, film me for a sec.
The broiler on?
The broiler is on.
Oh,
And I know I told you. Don't
You guys
step
shouldn't
away.
be out here that long.
I'm going. I'm going. I couldn't trust you, Chris. I had to
all
help
right.
you. All right, so just to be safe, I moved it down. You can see we're getting a little bit of nice browning. Now that I'm back in the house, I'll drop that back up there for a minute under the direct heat, and I'm gonna set up some plates so we can eat. All right, so if you look at the pork, I tented that loosely with foil. If you slide over here, our stuffing should be just about done. That's what I'm talking about, right?
That looks beautiful.
Beautiful. I make this all the time for my family, guys. Chris and Jeff have not had it, so guys, dig in. I want to know what you think of the stuffing, and I'd really appreciate it if you take a bite of the pork and dip it in the applesauce. That's the secret sauce, no pun intended.
Is it okay if I dip in the applesauce and then dig into the pork?
Whatever you like, Chris.
And even being this thin for a pork chop, it's pretty juicy inside.
Yeah.
Right,
It really is.
That's the darker pork chop.
Yeah.
that's the
that's
darker
good.
pork chop.
Yummy.
Sorry for chewing and talking, guys, but give this a shot. Literally, very
that's good.
simple.
That's good.
It is good, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
Very simple, but 20, 25 minutes, nice weeknight meal. It just tastes really good. So,
Perfectly cooked.
yeah.
It doesn't take long. Once you get it on the griddle, like you said, 3 minutes on the first side, maybe 2.5 to 3 minutes on the second side.
And we could have even pulled these a little bit sooner.
We could have, but it actually stayed juicy. We thought we might have overcooked it. We didn't.
Well, that's the thing. They're more forgiving than the center cut pork chops are the most unforgiving piece of meat on the planet. I
that
mean,
is great.
So.